Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dago here, and welcome back to the Talos Principle. Now, I was so stumped in the last episode that I did read a little bit online for a hint, and I realized I'm a big dummy, because apparently you can actually use these stupid fans as the pressure plate, which is just, ugh. I can't decide if I'm just being an idiot, or if it's just not the best game design that I didn't realize that that was a way that you could use it. I don't know, I can't tell. It's been forever since I played a game like Portal for the first time. I don't remember Portal being quite so obscure, but you know. Oh, more magical paint that I don't need. Ground. Okay, so this one is still a pickle to me because I looked online for some tips, and the description that I found was so obscure that it didn't really help. And I once again, I can't tell if that's just me being dumb or not. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to figure this one out on my own some, which that's fine. I can do that. Oopsies. Alright, let's see here. So I've got to throw off all of the bots. Let's go ahead and get these guys while we're on this side of the fence. You. And we'll just, give them a chance to become completely out of sync. Okay, and then we jam that fence. Pick up this guy. And gotta jam that guy. Oh man, have they gotten uglier? It looks like their design has changed for the worse. Freaky. Okay, so this is the part that I'm still not certain about. Oop. How to get, gosh, those drums, oh my gosh. Yes. Hello. Now, wait a second. Pretty sure I can't reach that inner... Wait a second, Okay. Once again, I'm trying to solve things all at once instead of in pieces. I think that's my problem. I'm so busy trying to get the big picture. Okay, no, I want that one jammed, but I want to take this guy. I'm so busy trying to solve the big picture that I'm doing things too much at once. So I wanted all three of these gates to be open at the same time, but that's not necessary. See? Whoa, don't mess it all up now, Dago. I just needed more coffee. That's all I needed. Oh, that freaks me out. Oh, I hate them. I hate them so much. Okay. Yeah, shut up. Oh, boy! Yay! I figured out both of the hard puzzles. Well, I figured out that hard puzzle. This one I had help with. But that was a mechanical failure. Okay, let's see here. What else? What else? What was in here again? That's the tomb. That's learning to fly. What? Oh, did I? I've solved all of the ones. What do you want? I don't like you, just for the record. Here's what I've been wondering while you were off carrying out commandments. You've suggested that consciousness is not part of the same world as ordinary physical things. That means you can't weigh it, you can't throw it around, or cut it into pieces. It's completely beyond the laws of physics, right? Is consciousness beyond the laws of physics? No. My instinct says no. How can our consciousness be beyond the laws of physics? We are temporal beings, and time is a construct of physics. Sort of. Kind of. Time is kind of my, my scientific passion, if you will. I've done way too much research on space-time and temporal metaphysics and all those fancy big words, and it kind of irritates me when I start watching something that has time travel involved, because I know too much. It's kind of like when you're an expert on something, and then you watch a silly movie that has that thing in it, and you're like, that's completely wrong, and I can't take this seriously, even though it's a work of fiction. I'm that way with time. I'm gonna say wrong! Look, you can't have your cake and eat it. Sure I can. The soul, or the immaterial realm, or whatever you want to call it, if it obeyed the laws of physics, then the physicists would have claimed it years ago. If it walks and talks like a physical thing, it is a physical thing. You need to decide which side your bread is buttered on. But consciousness, well, consciousness and the soul, are they one and the same? Because there's so much we don't know about the brain and the effects that it has. Ooh, sorry, I'm bashing my microphone. On the effects that it has on our the way we think and our personalities. So on the one hand, you've got the physical aspect of consciousness, and then if you're going to go with the soul, as in an immortal part of your being that supposedly carries on, if you believe that, I do, after the physical part is gone, can't you have your cake and eat it too? Like, I certainly don't know enough about this subject to really decide. I feel like there is an either or. I don't feel like that's the right way to think about it. I think there is an aspect of both. Maybe. Gosh, this game. I haven't had enough coffee yet. See, this is a trick. I hate this. They're making me say A or B. Consciousness is physical. If I say consciousness is physical, then Milton can debate with me then that the soul is not real, perhaps. Or at least that the soul ends when we die. If I say consciousness is not physical, then how does it have... I hate this. I hate this. Oh, I'm not smart enough for this. It's not that I'm not smart enough. I haven't read enough. I don't know enough about this subject. And I guess I really do feel like an ignorant android who's like, I'm dealing with a very salty, fallen angel-esque robot who's given me sass and telling me to explain things I don't know enough about. I'm gonna go with consciousness is not physical. Fine. You win. Oh, good, Milton. I don't like you in any shape or form. I don't like you, I don't trust you. I think you're an ass. Good. Now the library is fairly consistent on the view that physical events are caused by other physical events. If you move your legs, it is because of the interaction between your neurons and your nervous system. Agreed. But if consciousness is beyond the laws of physics, how can happiness physically make you jump for joy? Consciousness is mysterious by nature. It can't, it just feels like it can. But if consciousness is physical, why is it so unlike? I may have taken a wrong turn in my reasoning. What is with this? Oh, but if consciousness is physical, why is it so unlike everything else? Consciousness is mysterious by nature. I mean, you could say that. You could say that consciousness is a miracle, really. And, I mean, in all of the universe and all of the creatures on this earth, you know, you can argue all you like that, you know, animals, you know, other species have some level of consciousness in that, you know, they seem to have feelings or emotions, but, you know, the higher consciousness that is humanity, so far in the universe, is very unique, and it is in its own way mysterious. I'm gonna go with consciousness is mysterious by nature. Let me put it another way then. The law of conservation of energy is the foundation of modern physics. It states that the total energy in the universe never changes. Now compare a universe where you jump for joy, and one where you decide not to. The former has more total energy in it, because the energy for you to jump wasn't caused by something physical, but your non-physical mind. But according to physics, that's impossible. I think that either you have to reconsider your position or deny the entirety of physics, though be warned, if this place turns out to be built on physics, who knows what the ramifications of doubting it may be. What? Hang on a second. You're trying to explain jumping for joy by bringing in the law of conservation of energy? That doesn't make any sense. I don't think what you just said is scientific. Foundation. And besides, the law of the conservation of energy being the foundation of modern physics is old physics. Like, there's new work being done out there, Milton. We've been thinking that Newtonian physics needs a rewrite for some time now. It states that the total energy in the universe never changes. Now compare a universe where you jump for joy and one where you decide not to. It's still a choice. Oh, jeez. I don't like talking metaphysics with you, Milton. You are such a Satan character. You are twisting everything in just really subtle and confusing ways. I'm going that if this world in the game is Eden, then Milton is the fallen Lucifer, as it were. I renounce these ideas about consciousness. But then we're back to where we started. Do you want to propose an alternative account? Yes? Fine, but I won't allow you to lead us around in circles on this for the rest of eternity. I will take your next answer, so do take a moment to think about it this time. Consciousness is made of neurons. Consciousness is not part of the physical world. Consciousness is a complex functional system. Finally, you give me a third option. You say that consciousness is some kind of functional system. Arrange bits of matter in the right order and out springs sentience. That's all very well on paper, but if what counts is what something does, not what it's made of, then couldn't you and I design a series of tin cans on strings that qualified as being consciousness? I'm not sure I'd go that far. What about a computer program? Suppose we built a perfect simulation of the brain, only it was made of transistors, not neurons. Wouldn't that be conscious? Now we're getting into AI. But neurons are a physical thing, aren't they? See, this is where we get into the difference between conscious and a soul, and this is where people get really wrapped around in terms of AI. If artificial intelligence comes about, just because it has consciousness, does that mean it also has a soul? Because I think man might be able to create the physical shell, as it were, and even a physical shell that is so, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh gosh. I'm gonna struggle with this word, dang it. Anyway, so advanced, let's just go with, that's not the word I'm looking for, but it's the best I've got right now. So advanced that it has a consciousness or a simulated consciousness, but that doesn't necessarily mean that man has created a soul. And this is where I think people get wrapped up in this whole, oh, we shouldn't play God. Man can't play God. There is no way that we'd ever get to that point, I don't think. And God, I don't like this conversation. I admit I'm shying away from the difficult, but wouldn't that be consciousness? I'm gonna say it would, but I don't believe that means it has a soul. So what's the difference between the computer and the tin cans? They're both just man-made systems. Computers are electrical, computers can remember things. I guess there isn't one. I can't name the difference, but there is one. I'm beginning to think I'm a computer and I know I'm conscious. I'm not decided yet on whether this android... Well, no. This android probably is just a robot. Where are all the people then? I don't think that my character in this game, this View, is a person inside a robot's body. I don't think that's the case. I do think we're in a computer program, but I don't think that I'm just, Citizen A manifesting as a robot, because if that was the case, this conversation would be much better written, I think. Beginning to think I'm a computer and I know I'm conscious. Go to old-fashioned speciesism, is it? Speciesism. You're made of different stuff to that guy, so he doesn't feel the pain when you burn his house down. Still, you're going to have better grounds than that. What? You're made of different stuff to that guy, so he doesn't feel the pain when you burn his house down? What are you talking about, Milton? You are just absolutely out of your gourd. If that's what you really think, wouldn't we save ourselves an awful lot of time if you just admitted that consciousness is whatever very particular idea you've decided you like the sound of, and drop all this nonsense about complex systems? Oh, arguing with a computer sucks. Oh my gosh, this is like ThinkBot, but on steroids with a lot of salt. You know what, I just don't feel like talking to you anymore. You're right, this idea is too broad. But then we're back to where we started. Do you want to propose an alternative account? No! How consciousness can be so intimately—
Do not think I know not the deceiver slithering through the hidden words. His wisdom is hollow and born of despair.
I agree.
Do not let him tangle you in his webs of delusion. Have faith in me, and his petty illusions will fall away like nightmares in the morning's light.
How consciousness can be so intimately familiar to you and yet so obscure, I just don't understand. Don't mind him, he's just worried that if you ask too many questions, you'll start to see through his shtick. Stick with me and the sky will quite literally be the limit. At any rate, I'd like you to think a bit harder about all this and get back to me. I'm sure there's still progress to be made. Terminating. See, I'm still not certain what I think of Elohim in this situation, but I definitely don't trust you, Milton. How consciousness can be so intimately familiar to you and yet so obscure, I just don't understand. Of course you wouldn't understand. You're a robot, I'm human. I have consciousness, you do not. How can I explain to you what consciousness is? A robot that is based on limitations, and me, a human, with theoretically an unlimited consciousness. And don't go read too much into unlimited consciousness. I'm using bad words to describe something even I don't fully understand, so I'm so confused! Alright, let's read through these really quickly. Science magic. Though the term science has only meant what it does to us for around 600— oh, wait a second. I've read all this, haven't I? Yeah, Yeah, I've read all this. Okay, there's nothing new here. All right. So that is all the time that we have for this episode. Milton continues to be a thorn in my side, a serpent in the garden, as it were, and I just don't like him at all. And I have a feeling he's going to lead us down very, very bad paths. And he's going to continue to make me very irritated that I didn't take more, well, I took plenty of philosophy classes, but whatever it is that he's talking about, I wish I knew more about it. I wish I could better express myself. That's always a frustration of mine. And I personally love words. Words are my jam, and yet they're so tricky sometimes. You get wrapped up in them way too much. So anyway, I will stop babbling now. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and as always, I will see you next time.